It was really a fun wedding. I wanted it to be filled with happiness and joy, especially since it had taken us so long to do it.
We wanted everybody to really enjoy themselves, especially knowing that, for starters, people they were very looking forward to our wedding, to coming, because they knew what we were going through to get to that point. And so they were very happy for us, and we wanted them to be happy with the event itself. And the bubbles were part of the favor too. So we went through Oriental Trading, as a matter of fact, and ordered personalized bubbles. It's like they were little skinny clear tubes, and they had our name on it and the date when they wanted. We just set it up as a big basket, basically. So we wanted to make sure everybody had one.
Mike gathered everyone together and said, "It's time to roll."
Right, we wanted to line everybody up and do it before anybody else left. Yeah. They announced us again. The doors opened. We walked out, and of course, it's like we just kept going. We walked right up to the bedroom. We just kept right on going.
So for us, and like I said, the bubbles just represented our
just
fun side, you know. But also, what we considered is or something people don't consider is, where do those balloons go after you've let them loose?
I've always
do
wondered.
People think that way, you know? And considering they fly over the oceans and
just pop, and who knows where that rubber is ending up, really.
Yeah. And the environment should be important to everyone.
I love that we personalized every moment of it, from the theme to we incorporated the wine glasses from our first date. That's what we drank out of for our first drink. So everything was personalized to us as a couple. So that was great. So we chose sparklers because first we were going to do lanterns. And then I started reading about where lanterns go and how they fall and the cleanup behind that. And so we couldn't control where they were going to land. And I didn't want it to be debris everywhere. So we decided not to go with lanterns. Then I wanted to do fireworks. I wanted a huge heart to explode at the end. And I looked into the price, and then he said no. So we had a budget instead, but I wanted this, ginormous, big send-off with fireworks. And then I said, what about little fireworks? Which is how we came to the sparklers. And the sparklers were magical once we got them lit. So we got married in September down close to the beach at the Museum of Contemporary Art. And so we had to keep lighting them. That was the only thing. We had to do it a couple of times. So Michael was great. He was ready every time that we were ready to go. And then we kind of ran down this corridor. And it's one of my favorite pictures.
Yeah.
The sparkler send-off. It's huge. Over our fireplace now. Yeah. And a lot of people are going towards the lantern, and they're beautiful. That's what it is. They're really pretty. So we didn't consider the balloons, but when we saw that you couldn't clean them up, when we were going to do it over the water, and then we said no. So sparklers it was. And then we had so many sparklers that we were able to share with another couple that was getting married, but we had leftover, so they last a long time too. So.
I have never been super into weddings, but I remember always seeing these lanterns that people would have at the end of their wedding, and that was going to be my thing. I was going to have lanterns, at the end of my wedding, and then I kind of looked into it and I realized how horrible it is for the environment, and I was like, oh man, that's a shame. So kind of steering away from that because I didn't want our day to kind of take over what's happening in the ocean and in the environment. So I started looking at other options. I've seen things where people will do wildflower seeds, which seemed super cool to me. I've seen just petals. I've even seen where people will take leaves, in the fall, and they'll punch little confetti out of the leaves and do that. And I was like, that's really cool. So we'll probably end up doing something like that because balloons and lanterns are out of the question now.
Originally, I was wanting to do sparklers. That was my main thing to go for, but I found out real quickly that shipping sands won't let us do that.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of restrictions on base. You can't do rice, you can't do petals, anything that is smaller that we'd have to clean up afterwards or would leave a mess. We're not allowed to do it all. And then because we're on the base, you can't have anything that's constituted as a firework.
Yes, that's kind of a bummer. It just kind of shove that out the window. And my next big thing was, I saw this online, and I saw people take glow sticks for a send-off. And they actually had an awesome picture where, they were coming down the line and everyone was waving the glow sticks. It all kind of looked like this huge party as they were coming out. And I was like, oh, that would be so different and so cool. So that's I think my number one favorite so far. And the next would be probably Bubbles would be that. Yeah. I wanted to do wildflowers, but again, we can't have anything loose. Base sucks, but
and the glow sticks is probably going to work best because our reception is going to end at like 11 o'clock at night. Yeah. So the bubbles isn't going to really work too well outside in the dark.
No, honestly, I didn't even think about the lanterns because it just didn't even cross my mind, honestly. But I think one of the reasons why I didn't even really think about doing those was because I have heard of stories where people have tried to do them. They spent so much money on getting a whole bunch of them for people to use, and either they don't work like they planned and they just don't, lift or anything like that. And then, I guess, the main thing would be that they just fall back down afterwards and they just stay around. They don't,
For me, it was because we're on an air base and you can't let anything go that's going to float away. So like I did that, anything that we had to let go that would just go, like it was automatically cut out because you can't release 50 balloons in the middle of an air base. So
Petey, my husband, is a hibachi chef, and our whole living room is like Japanese decor. So we decided on the pagoda for the ceremony. So we did like this whole Japanese decor thing, but I'm also obsessed with peacocks. So we have peacock feathers kind of intertwined. Well, at first I really wanted to do lanterns because of the whole Asian type thing. I thought it'd be really pretty with the pagoda. But I started getting paranoid about them getting stuck in trees. And I'm like, they're going to catch on fire and I'm going to burn Hampton Roads down and that'll be the end of it. So we went back to the drawing board, and one of my favorite aunts years ago told me she would be at my wedding with bells on. Unfortunately, she passed away before I ever got engaged and got married. So I talked to my other aunt and we came up with these pretty little, could I grab our little wedding wand? My little wedding wands with bells. So we did ribbons, and I thought we were original and made these up, but apparently we didn't. They were out there, but we put bells to honor my aunt. She always said, I'll be there with bells on. And so I was like, I have to incorporate bells somewhere. So that's where we did it. And my other aunt made them, so it made it special. So it was like family kind of made them all come together. So we had these beautiful little wedding wands instead. And we just let everyone take them home, and as I was telling you guys, I use them as cat toys at home because I have lots left over. Yeah, it wasn't just a, gimmick. It was like, like I said, personal. So she was there.
Visit JoyfulSendoff.org with more picture-perfect, fun, and litter-free send-off ideas.